if you have a question as we go ahead and unmute and ask the question while we're doing it. We have a couple people just joined us. Who's that? Did somebody just join?
This is Ren.
Hey, Lynn. Okay. All right. Well, let's get going again. For those of you who just joined, if you can put your phones on mute, and then when you want to ask a question, go ahead and unmute and ask the question.
Hey, Frank. It's
Yes.
Michelle. Just before we get started, can you share the presentation with us? Can you send that to me so I can send it out to folks afterwards?
Yes, we can do that. Now, Sean, we're not actually recording this, are we?
I can go either way. If you'd want me to record it, if that's beneficial for afterwards, I can do that. And if you'd prefer me not to, I don't have to.
Will that recording then Sean, will that recording capture my audio even though I'm going through the phone?
Yep, it'll record all the audio.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
And tell us when you're ready.
You can go ahead right now.
All right, very good. All right, I am Frank Knapp. I probably know most of you, or you know me. I'm the President and CEO of the South Carolina Small Business Chamber of Commerce, and I have the opportunity to serve on the SBDC State Advisory Board. And I thank you very much for joining us today. We're going to be talking about a new portal that we are opening up. The Small Business Chamber is opening up today to help small businesses gain access to capital. That's been something we've been talking about for a while, and we believe this is going to be very, very beneficial for all the SBDC people and others who are working with small businesses, and those small businesses are looking for capital. That this will be something that we hope that they will point them to as a possible source of the capital that they need. So on the screen, you see that we're branding this "Invest in a New Economy," and essentially that is the thrust of this. We really want to promote South Carolinians investing in our own local economies, and we're going to have two vehicles right now to do. You also see that this is a project that is in partnership with the American Sustainable Business Council. The American Sustainable Business Council is a national coalition of over 60 organizations nationwide that is working on a number of issues involving sustainability. I encourage you to check them out. So our portal that we will be talking about today is actually part of a meta portal being constructed for the American Sustainable Business Council, which will allow people to go in and if they wanted to migrate to a different organization that's a partner organization of the American Sustainable Business Council, they can do that. But of course, we are encouraging South Carolinians to shop for small businesses in our state to either donate to or invest in. So, three things are going to be going on here. First, we're going to have donation crowdfunding. The second will be private placement investment, and the third is security crowdfunding. And we're going to go through each of those things. So let's move to the next slide, Sean. So as we all know, with the Great Recession came a significant problem for small businesses who are trying to find access to capital. The loans, lines of credit dried up, and this was basically because of the financial institutions not having the resources to lend during the recession. And now the problem is that they are being very, very judicious in who they make loans to. No longer do small business owners or entrepreneurs have the equity in their homes that they used to. So that qualification is really out the window for the traditional financial lending that's going on. And again, the financial institutions are really being very careful so that they are not perceived by regulators as having too many risky loans on the books. And by definition, most small business loans are risky. So we got involved in this issue back in 2010 when I went to DC and had other organizations. We went to congressional offices, say, well, something has to be done to address this problem of access to capital for small businesses. Then in 2010, also in July, there was an SEC petition that basically was asking the Securities and Exchange Commission to change the rules by which investors could invest in small businesses. And at that time, the original proposal back in July of 2010 was to have very low limits set that somebody could invest in a business, say $100. And if we allowed anybody to invest in any business for $100, there really wasn't much risk of loss or worry about fraud. And for that type of limitation, could the SEC eliminate a lot of the red tape and loosen up who can actually invest in a business, directly into a business? That idea at first seemed like it was kind of far-fetched, that the federal government would actually listen to that petition that we supported. And it came to the 2011, it started taking off. President Obama liked the concept. He started talking about it and actually talking to his SEC to look into it. The House of Representatives then started thinking about it and started liking the project and started actually crafting legislation to allow for this that was being called crowdfunding, security crowdfunding. Then it continued to grow and ended in the Jobs Act of 2012. So the Jobs Act of 2012 included provisions to allow for something called security crowdfunding. Unfortunately, those regulations haven't been approved yet. So while it's been approved by law, the regs haven't been set, and so security crowdfunding, as we'll mention in the future, is not quite ready yet. Sean, let's go to the next slide. So, but here's what we're going to be doing right now. In fact, we're opening the doors to taking applications right now, today. There will be a meta portal by the American Sustainable Business Council. All of its partner organizations will be part of that meta portal. Mission Markets is the owner of the technology and conducts all the financial transactions between the donors, investors, and the business issuers. And the portal creates a national brand and offers businesses and donors, investors assurance of best practices. So this is where we're going with this under the branding of Invest in a New Economy. We want to bring as many small businesses together with potential investors and, as you'll see, donors together to create another avenue for accessing capital. We'll be branding this as a best practices portal because we anticipate that as we get closer into 2014, there'll be a number of these portals open up that will try to take advantage of the security crowdfunding that will be coming up. But we wanted to make sure that small businesses and people who want to donate or invest will be confident that they can use this portal and be confident that they could be less concerned about fraud, and that the portal has looked at these proposals and that they meet a certain minimum criteria for being listed on our portal. Let's go to the next slide. We set up a community advisory board when we started putting this together last year, and you probably will recognize some of those people on there who were on this community advisory board. And so as we put this together, this community advisory board was providing input on how to move forward. Next slide. So here's what we're doing at first, because as I mentioned, security crowdfunding won't actually be able to take place until next year sometime, maybe summer of 2014. In the meantime, we still have the problem with access to capital. So we are opening up basically two parallel portals. The one is for donation crowdfunding. Now, donation crowdfunding is done through an online portal, thus allowing the crowd to fund a project of their choice. Individuals, organizations, businesses literally ask people to donate money to them for a project. There can be token rewards for exchanging, for offering to have donations. That is completely up to the business putting the offer on the donation crowdfunding. Many of you will probably know, have heard of Kickstarter, Indiegogo. These are pretty well-known portals, crowdfunding portals that have gotten a lot of press. These have emphasized really the arts. People wanted to do a movie, a band wanted to make a CD. Those types of things are really the centerpiece of Kickstarter and Indiegogo. However, businesses have used those portals successfully to get people to donate to a business project. And since that has been demonstrated to actually work, if the business owner, entrepreneur has a good idea and can pull at the heartstrings, so to speak, of people out there who are looking at the portal and say, even though this is a private business and they're trying to make money, I still want to help them be successful, and I will donate money to what they're trying to do to get them started. So that's what donation crowdfunding is from what we're looking at. We will have a portal that would be donation crowdfunding for South Carolina small businesses. And those small businesses can go on to our portal and they can put in their offer. And then they will work their campaign and hopefully be successful in generating revenue, generating capital, all through donations. So that is the one portal that we're opening up. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, the next slide is about private placement investing. Now, I did say that the security crowdfunding is not yet approved. Hopefully by next summer it will be. And that is when people actually invest in a business. But right now, people of high net worth or high incomes can actually do that now. So if you're making over $200,000 a year, or a joint return of over $300,000 a year, and you've done that for the last 2 years, and you expect to do it again this year, or you have over $1 million of liquid assets, not including your house. The SEC rules say that you can actually invest directly into a business today. And these investments can be made through a broker-dealer directly or with the business with or without a portal. And these investors then become equity investors, and they receive shares of the business. Now, this portal can also be used for private loans, people who are looking for private loans. What has been missing, even though this is legal today, is there's not really been a marketplace for this. In other words, businesses out there who may be looking for investors and would be very much interested in a high-income person to invest in their business, there's never been a marketplace for them to put their business offers out there for these, and they're called accredited investors. These accredited investors to find them, to be able to shop. So that's what we're creating. I mean, this is very unique. And so we want businesses who are looking for investors, who don't mind having investors, to come to the portal and put their offer out there, and then and then we'll be contacting these accredited investors and asking them to come register on the portal to shop and find some small businesses in South Carolina that they feel are worthy of their investment, to offer a return that they're looking for in their investment, and to go ahead and invest. Let's go to the next slide, Sean. And then finally, and this is the security crowdfunding I said that was part of the Jobs Act of 2012, but yet not in place. Security crowdfunding is done through an online portal, as we've been discussing. Again, allowing the crowd to invest in a project of their choice. Private businesses and nonprofits. Nonprofits actually can have a private business part of them, can put their business deals out in this marketplace for individuals to invest and have ownership of shares in that business. There are some guidelines of how much under security crowdfunding can be invested. Annual investments are limited to $2,000 or 5% of the annual income for investors with less than $100,000 in net assets or $100,000 in annual income. Otherwise, up to 10% of the annual income capped at $100,000. So if you're a high net worth person, you can invest up to $100,000 a year as long as that's less than 10% of your annual income. But the key is here that all South Carolinians, in fact, anybody can invest through security crowdfunding when it is legal. If you want to, if an offer is out there and you go to it and you find it in the marketplace and you want to invest $100, $200, $500, $600, $1,000, you can do that under security crowdfunding that is coming next year. It is a very populist way of people to invest in their own local economies. So that if you know of a business that you frequent and you find out that they want to open up a store someplace else in the community or even in another community, and they're asking for investors, you can go through this portal, find them, and invest in them. You know the people, you've shopped there, you will continue to be a client of theirs, and now you will own a piece of that business. This is really an egalitarian way of having everybody can be investors in our local economy and our local businesses. Let's go to the next slide, Sean. All right, so how does this portal work? The portal's URL is sccrowdfund.com, and it is going to take the donor or investor or the business or nonprofit to a landing page. And the donor, investor, or the business and nonprofit selects a button to enter either the donation crowdfunding portal or the private placement investment portal. And Sean, let's go ahead and jump to what that actually looks like. Okay, so if you go to sccrowdfund.com, here's where you will land up. This is a page on the Small Business Chamber website. And it basically first outlines what is donation crowdfunding. It gives a little explanation. It does say that the portal is right now accepting only applications from businesses and nonprofits to have their offers on the marketplace. And when they click right there on that gray area, they will go to a page that has more information, more explanation of how it works. And eventually they will end up on a registration page, and then they can move forward and go ahead and put together their listing. The other, as you scroll down, you see it's private placement investing, a little explanation of what that is. Explanation, go to a page that tells you what an accredited investor is. And again, that the private placement portal is now accepting applications only. So you click on there, you're going to go to a registration page, you fill that out, then you will go to another part of the portal to actually do the listing. If you drop down even further, you'll see that we have put together some consultants who will be offering services through the portal to those businesses and nonprofits who want to create a listing either on the donation portal or the private placement portal. We know that there are things that need to be done to have a successful campaign on either the donation or the private placement. So we are offering services that include copywriting, videography, Facebook spruce up, business plan assistance, coaching assistance, because some people may not know how to run a good campaign. All those things will be available through the portal from consultants that are listed there. And if somebody wants to apply to have their name listed as a potential consultant, we'll be glad to entertain that. This is not a finite list. you will see that when you look there that each of the services already has a pre-negotiated fee and an explanation of what the services are. That fee then is available only when you go through the portal. Anybody can go outside our list of people and get anybody else they want to help them put their listing together. That's fine. But if people want to use our consultants and pay the negotiated fee that we have worked out, we know that they will be satisfied with that also. So that is what you find when you go to the landing page, is the first step, and then from there you jump to the actual either donation crowdfunding portal or the private placement investment portal. Let's go to the next slide then, Sean. So we did want to make sure that lenders understood that this portal can be good for them also. That our portal is not to replace the traditional financial ability out there with banks, credit unions. We should be a partner with them. So working through us and helping people access capital through these portals, it offers an opportunity to access capital for businesses, and the lender cannot help. So as you all know, when you put together a business plan for a client and you say, okay, now go to a financial institution and see if you can get them to give you a loan, more often than not, that probably is not going to be successful. Not because the financial institution doesn't like the person or necessarily may even like the business plan, but the qualifications for a loan simply are not there with that person. So we hope that those lenders then can turn around also and say, have you checked out the crowdfunding or private investment portal, and give them directions to go that way. This offers lenders another source of capital to partner with on a small business loan. As you all know, that traditional financial institutions like partners. They like somebody else to have a piece of the action, to have some risk, and that enables them to shed some of their risk, and also gives them some confidence that somebody else thinks it's a good loan to make. So a lender could say, well, you know, you do need some more equity. You need to demonstrate that others can agree with you and think that you have a good plan. So go into this, either the donation crowdfunding portal or the private investment portal, and get access to capital that way. And then you can also come back to us and see if we can do the deal. So it offers a business the opportunity to generate capital, putting it in a better position for the future loans from the lender. So, you know, we hope that all our traditional financial lenders will appreciate the opportunity in this portal and how they can constructively use it to their advantage. Let's go to the next slide, Sean. So applications are being taken today. We officially opened the doors. And we are accepting applications either for the donation crowdfunding portal or the private placement investment portal. You can do that simply by going to that www.sccrowdfund.com and start putting their listing together. We will open our doors to the general public for shopping on the donation and to accredited investors on the private placement when we feel we have enough offers on the shelves. We don't want to invite the public to come in to shop to make donations or investments if we don't have enough inventory for them to actually shop for. So that's why we're going out early before we open up to the public, looking for lenders, looking for businesses who are in search of capital. So that's where we are. And we hope that you all will check this out and that you can recommend to people who you are working with to, if they cannot get a traditional financial loan, to check out scrowdfund.com and see if there's an opportunity for them there that they believe they have a good idea, and then they can put it in the marketplace. And they can either search for donations or they could look for investors. There is work to be done. It's just not as easy as putting a listing and walking away. There's actually a campaign that must be run, and that they have to use all their contacts, all their social media contacts, all the people that may be visiting their stores, all their friends and relatives. It literally is a campaign effort to secure the capital they're looking for. And we are providing the marketplace for this to happen, and for them and for people who don't even know them to find them, to either donate to or invest in. So we're excited about this. It may be another 30 days before we can go public, with asking the public to actually go shop. But that's what we are working toward, and we hope that you help us then stock our shelves. All right, let's take questions. Don't forget to unmute your phone.
Good morning, Frank. This is Jim Giffen in Sumter. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Jim.
As a financial advisor, I have a couple questions as far as those that are investing into the crowdfunding. You said this is also waiting to be approved by the SEC?
Yes, the security crowdfunding part is waiting for the SEC to approve it. That will probably happen summer of 2014. However, the private placement investing is illegal now, and that is why we're moving forward with a portal that will create the marketplace for people looking for investment from high-income individuals.
Okay, next question. Are they actually acquiring stock, or how is their investment percentage for risk return?
Well, that's a good question. And actually, there are going to be a number of mechanisms by which they can ask for capital. Shares, they can offer shares in the company. They can look for private loans. There's a number of different vehicles that I don't even understand will be available for these businesses for asking for investment. And certainly when they do that, we'll have an explanation of what each individual type of investment is that they may be asking for, but they probably need advice from people like you then to help them understand which would be the best thing they should ask for.
Yeah, this is where the question, when I'm looking at, I think it's a great idea, a great program. I would like to have some slides put together when we go and speak in front of various organizations such as Rotaries or so on and so forth. This is where you'll find the people that may have the money to invest. But as a registered representative, I have to be careful when I ask people to invest money. As far as they're going to look at what is my potential return, which of course you never know, versus the risk I'll be taking when I invest this money.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, this is these investors, and then, of course that's why the SEC already allows for high net worth individuals to actually do this on their own. Correctly or incorrectly, the assumption is that they have the wherewithal to understand what they are doing. But everybody's going to have to make that decision. When you're making an investment, regardless if it's on the stock market or a private investment, these investors are going to have to weigh it carefully. When they find a business deal that they're interested in investing in, they will hit a button on that portal and that website. That will immediately connect them to the folks at Mission Markets and the security broker dealer Bendigo Securities, and also the business owner, him or herself. And all of a sudden now it's not just somebody on a portal trying to make a decision. Now they're actually engaged in communication with a securities broker and also the business owner. And so it's going to take time for them to work out what the business owner is looking for and what the investor is looking for. So it's just not going to be done with a push of a button. On the investment side, there will be these three-way communications.
Okay, good. That's a question I'd like to get a lot more information on. And my third and final question on this, and sorry to be taking up all the time, but anyway, is there going to be different requirements for the potential borrowers to apply for this money? I know, when you go to a normal lender, of course, you have to have a certain credit or beacon score, you have to have collateral and so on and so forth. Is there anything been developed what we're going to be looking for as far as before we suggest someone go here and apply for money?
Well, as far as who would actually extend the private loan, that is up to the private person of how much risk they want to take with the private loan.
Okay.
The business who's asking for, if they're asking for a loan, all they can do is put out what their offer is. They'll have to show their financials. They'll have to show a 3-year pro forma. They will have to tell the business plan. They will have to give them all the information that investor or private loan person wants will have to be provided to convince that person to make that private loan or to invest.
Okay, well, good. And of course, because there being greater risk with this type of client, they're going to expect a greater return.
Yeah, and you know what, Jim, that is probably one of the most difficult things for a business to understand. They can say, oh, yeah, I want people to invest. But those investors really want to understand exactly what you're going to do. They want to know what you have done, what you plan on doing, and to calculate effectively what piece of your business you're going to give away for how much money.
That's correct.
And that's going to take some consulting, some people that have expertise at putting these detailed business plans together. It can be done, but it's not something that a small business should enter into lightly. They don't want to give away the store, so to speak.
I understand. All right, I'll back off now and let other people in.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Frank.
Frank, this is Michelle. I'd like to know who you've enlisted to provide these services, including, helping people with their business plans.
Sure. If you go to sccrowdfund.com, scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, click on where it says more information, and they're all listed right there.
I'm surprised you haven't approached us, since business plans is a big part of what we do.
Actually, I did do that. And I did make the request that I could approach the SBDC counselors, and I was told that would probably be a conflict of interest.
Okay, I guess we need to talk about that offline because I wasn't aware of that.
Okay. Who else has a question? Anybody else?
Quiet group.
Either that or I bored everybody. I'm not sure which. But if anybody does have a question after we get off here, just call me, 803-252-5733. There's extensive interest out there in this issue. This will be the first combination donation crowdfunding and private placement investment portal in the state. And it is not something that is put together lightly. Again, we've been working on this since 2010, moving in this direction. And we think that we're going to have a good product to create these marketplaces. But we do need, of course, the small business community to be aware of it and to take advantage of a listing and seeking money either through donation or investment. So that is, I think you all can be of great assistance in helping to at least spread the word and saying, hey, have you checked this out with your business clients? So we'll be making more of these webinars available. And if you need something to communicate to some group that you are with, please just simply ask. If I'm available to come speak to a group, I'll be more than happy to do that. I'll be working the media. I'll be doing TV programs, news programs on this, and certainly talking to the business reporters at the newspapers. But we really need to move forward and to put this opportunity out there for the small business community.
Excuse me, this is Charles and Mari in Charleston.
Hey, Charles.
I've got a list of probably 12 or 13 different places online that'll do crowdfunding for you, if you will.
Yes.
And there's always a fee involved.
Yes.
What is the cost of your organization doing a crowdfunding project?
Yes, you do. There are more than 12 probably out there who will do donation crowdfunding nationwide. There is actually only one South Carolina portal that does donation crowdfunding. That's in Charleston, and John Osborne has that. Actually, we'll be working with John on this project also. And yes, there is a fee because providing these services is no cost of this. For a donation crowdfunding listing, it's $100. So if a business wants to be on there, if we approve of the listing, they do have to pay a listing fee of $100.
But there's no percentage?
There is a percentage on the back end.
Okay.
Is the total is 7.4% of the revenue generated through donation, which is competitive with Kickstarter and everybody else.
All right, thank you.
Now, this is Michelle again. I want to add to what Charles just said because I'm looking at the website, and the client who's looking for funding is also going to incur other fees as well because all of these service providers are charging fees for the services that they're offering.
Of course.
And the consultants, like the consultants that are doing business plans, are charging $100 for the first hour and then $50 an hour on average. So
that is correct. Those were the fees we negotiated. And again, I will reiterate that the first entity that I went to looking for people to be on our list of potential consultants to do business plans was the SBDC folks. And again, the decision was made that would be too much of a conflict of interest. But I'm willing to revisit that if it's permissible.
Okay.
But there also then on the private investment side of this, there is the same $100 application fee if it's approved. But then there are other steps because really it's more labor intensive on our end because we will actually be reviewing the plans that come before us. We'll be reviewing the business plan, we'll be reviewing the financials, we'll be reviewing their pro forma, and we will do a review here in South Carolina with people in South Carolina with experience. And then it actually then goes up to Mission Markets with their security broker up there. They will do even more in-depth review. Remember, it's their security licenses on the line. And if they have more questions or if we have more questions, we'll get back to that business owner and say, okay, we need more information here or we need this. And then only after it gets past all of that, and there is an extra fee for this whole process. And then only after it passes all of that, then there is another listing fee to actually put the listing up. It is pretty labor intensive, and so that's why the extra fees for people who are looking for investments. And then at the Mission Markets and the broker dealer actually take a 2% success fee at the end of the process. Our portal gets nothing on the success fee because we're not a licensed broker, so we cannot take any commission. On the donation side, I failed to mention of that 7.4%, some of that money is going to Mission Markets, so they get a success fee even on donation, and then our portal does get a part of that success fee. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Well, thank you very much. Again, call me or email me, 803-252-5733 or sbchamber@scsbc.org if you have questions, if you want some more information, if you want me to try to make some type of an event to speak about this. We think that this is really going to turn into something that's going to be valuable to you in the work that you do. And we know that it will be valuable to the small businesses in our state and to encourage people to either donate or invest in their local small businesses, that we can, in fact, improve our own local economies by how we donate and invest. And I think that we don't have to wait for the national economy to turn around. We can affect our own economies by encouraging people to donate and invest in local small businesses that they like. So I thank you very much for the opportunity. I look forward to hearing more from you. And if that's it, Sean, thank you very much for your help.
Good day, Frank.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all very much. Let me hear from you.
Thank you, Frank.